weeks, and before I hope that by the end of the 3 weeks, we would have a lot we have learned. You will even be surprised at the things that you can be able to do with the computer as a programmer. So my name is Emeka, that's what you know me as. And Linda would like you to talk, tell us about yourself. Just, I know your name already, but just your full name, where you live, and where you school. Yeah, just unmute your mic so we can hear when you are talking. Yes, you can talk now.
Imenna Ogeneruna. I go to International Unity School.
Okay, in Lagos or in Port Harcourt or in Abuja, where?
In Warri.
Very good. So it's okay. Thank you very much, Gabriel, Linda. So you can mute your mic now so that we hear from Tammy. Tammy, just unmute your mic and tell us about you.
My name is Tamara Ebi Michael Eva, and I attend Grand Oak Masters School.
In what state?
Lagos.
Okay, welcome, Tammy. So, why are you sharing your hiding your video? What is a G? Just share your video, please, so we can hear you. Tell us about yourself.
Are you mad?
Come on, just unmute your mic. Your mic is muted. That's a J. Mute your mic and tell us about yourself. Just quickly so we can go on. Do you know how to unmute your mic? Can you hear me? Just wave your hand if you can hear me. Since what's a G? Wave your hand. Good. Now you've gotten it. So now tell us about yourself.
I'm 12 years old. I come from Anambra State. My favorite color is orange.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. I'm sure you're going to have a rich computer as well.
Yeah, maybe.
I have 3 hoodies.
So what's your full name?
I have 3.
Chadika Wazoji Benedict.
Chadika. You're welcome, Chadika.
Oh, it's my cupboard.
You can mute your mic now. Can we hear from you, Gabriela? Please share a video, Gabriela, so we can see you.
I think there are 2 persons there, Gabriela and Oprah.
Yeah, we're going to hear from them. So let's hear from you. Mute your mic so we can hear from you. So tell us your full name, tell us where you live and what school you go to.
My name is Gabriela Undupu. I am 12. I live in Lagos. I go to Lagoon Secondary School.
Okay, that's interesting. And how about Oprah?
My name is Oprah and I'm 14. I go to Lagoon and I'm
sure that everybody wants to see Oprah. We are seeing just Gabriela.
No, nobody wants to see me. No, nobody wants to see me.
But I want to see you.
No.
All right.
I usually don't know this.
So,
that's your business.
So now you can mute your mic, Gabriela. Good. Rija, can we hear you, please? Or before then, let's see your face.
Rija is is actually here to observe. He's not one of the attendees.
Okay. All right, we are going to just comment now quickly, and I'll be telling us about programming, because definitely now we are here to learn. So, okay, let us talk about computer. There are many definitions of computer. They say computer is an idiot machine. They say computer is a machine that takes in inputs and processes it and gives an output. They say a lot of things about computer, but while they are all true, I'm sure every one of us have computer. Of course, you are attending this class on your computer and all that. So, how is it possible that we are being able to use this application, Zoom, to be able to make this call? These are some of the things that you get to ask yourself as a programmer, or you get to ask yourself that makes you become a programmer. I can tell you how I became a programmer. When I was very little, my mother used to have a shop where she does typing and photocopying and spiral binding. If you know about all that, it was a big deal then. Right now, people have printing machines in their houses, photocopies, but then you don't find it anywhere just that easily. So I used to go to the shop and help her. From helping her, I started working for her. Holidays, when I should be playing with my friends, I'll go to the shop to help her and type and photocopy and spiral bind. So then I could use Microsoft Word, I could use Excel, I could use PowerPoint, I could use CorelDRAW. I could use a lot of stuff then. And I began to ask myself, I can use my but what about the people that produce Microsoft Word? How did they produce it? I only know how to use it, but I don't know how to produce it. I began to, think about that often and on until eventually, a few years later, I was grown then. I began to understand that the people that produce language, then I began to be curious of learning programming. So that is it. I want to tell us something. Whenever you stop hearing me, please let me know. Whenever my network turns off, just stay put. I'll come back online and we can all start again. We know we have sometimes network is unstable. Yeah, so if my network goes off or if any of your network goes off, please don't go to sleep. So far, we are still within the time limit of the lecture. Just try to log in back. Thank you. So that was it. Eventually, years later, I began to learn programming. It was when I began to now appreciate it. So, if you want to learn programming, you have to ask yourself some questions. How did they develop this? How did they develop that? How did they get this done? How did they get that done? That is it. And then programming is like a language that computer understands. I think I'm already delving into the lectures, but before I delve in further, let me just give us a little rules and regulation, just so we know. I'm going to share my screen so you can see my screen. If you see my screen, just let me know you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So if you can see my screen, someone should just read for me what they are seeing on the screen.
It says rules and regulations. Everybody must be on mute while in a class. If you have a contribution, use the raise hand button. The instructor will call you, then you can speak. Assignments must be sent a day before the next class.
Good. Thank you very much. So now it's just nice for us to be on mute, just so that we don't have noise interference from our different backgrounds. I'm sure that you are in your houses and there are people in your house, you understand? And people in the house will be watching TV or doing some other things. So just so that the noise does not disturb the class, so just be on mute. When you want to ask a question, there is a raise hand button just on your screen there. If you can look at the bottom of your window, you will see a reaction button. You click on it, you're going to see raise hand. If you click on raise hand, then I would call you to ask a question. Yeah, that's it. So, Linda, you want to say something? Hello, Linda, you raised your hand. All right, I guess she's just trying it out. That's good. It's good you found it fast enough. So after every lecture, we would always give assignment to us, and it's nice for us to submit it a day before the next lecture so that it can be reviewed. Understand? So, and while in the course of the class, I will give us a way of submitting our assignments. Or maybe I just say it now. So the email address will be dropped on the chat where you can submit your assignments. You can zip it up in a folder and then send it to that email address. Or you can just send it to my WhatsApp number, which I am sure is on the group chat already. Just zip it up and send it to my WhatsApp number. When I get it, I will unzip it and then look at it. Yeah. But most preferably, email address. Thank you. So let's go back. Let's go on with what a programming language is. So I'll just stop sharing my screen for now. I will share it again when we're about to do other stuff. So programming language is just like a language. Have we heard of language called French before? Anyone? Of course you have. I'm sure Lina wants to unmute her button and tell us here that she has. Okay. All of a language called English. Anyone had a language called English? Come on, someone should say something. Are you hearing me at all?
Loud and clear.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Okay. So I asked a question, have we heard of any language called French?
I think Tammy raised his hand, maybe following your instruction. That
oh, yeah. Tammy, talk. Sorry, I didn't notice that.
Yes, I've heard of language.
Okay. Yeah. All right, you can just raise your hand when the answer is a yes or no. I think that was nice. That's of you, Tammy. So that we'll just move fast. So, languages are used for communication, right? Languages are used for communication. You can say, come here in French, and you can say, come here in English. You can also say, come here in Yoruba. You can say, come here in Igbo language, in Hausa language. You can say, come here in German language. So they are different languages, but they can say something that you can communicate with. And that is what programming language is. Programming language, simply put, is a language you use in talking to the computer, asking the computer to do something. I'm sure we all know the meaning of come here. Can anyone say, Is there anybody here who knows how to say come here in French? And I guess no one knows. I don't know
Excuse
too.
me. Excuse me.
Right?
Please, what did you say programming languages are?
So I am trying to bring it to the lowest level, and I say that programming language is a language you use in talking to the computer, asking the computer to do something. I'm trying to bring it to the lowest layman terms so we can understand what programming language is. So if you say you are writing a programming language, you are basically writing a language the computer can understand. And that language is telling computer to do something. That is it. And there are different types of programming languages. Just the way there are different types of normal languages. We have French, we have English, we have Igbo, we have Yoruba, we have Hausa. We have a lot of languages. So there are different types of programming languages. So it has to be written in a way computer would understand. And computer is not like a human being. Computer behaves quite different in the sense that it behaves sequentially. It behaves in sequence. What I mean in sequence, it means that when you are giving computer instructions, you have to give the instructions line by line, detail by detail, for computer to be able to follow you. For example, if I ask you to, let's say, for example, Tammy, you are sitting down, and I tell you, eat Indomie. What are you going to do? Come on, tell me. You're not sure what you do?
Syntax error, undesirable command.
All right, so that's good. So Linda, just like you're sitting down right now, and I ask you to eat Indomie, what are you going to do?
I'll eat Indomie.
Good. Good. You eat Indomie. Chiadeka, what will you do?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And Gabriela, what would you do? Hello, Gabriela. If you are just like you are right now, I ask you to eat Indomie, what would you do?
I'll ask you why I have to eat the Indomie.
Oh, that's why you want to eat food. Are you not hungry? All right. Now let me give you an example of what computer will do. The first is that computer is going to be confused because the computer has looked around the table and there is no Indomie to even eat. So computer does not understand. So you see, Gabriela will just go and eat Indomie because she understands that eating Indomie means that she has to stand up, go to the kitchen, and take Indomie from the pot. And if there is no Indomie from the pot, she is going to make the Indomie for herself. She will take it to the dining, and then she would eat it. But if you are giving that same instruction to computer, computer is not going to compute it that way. Computer will want you to give them the instruction in a very detailed manner. Something like stand up, go to the kitchen, go to the pot, open the pot. If there is Indomie in the pot, get a plate. Take some Indomie from the pot, put it in the plate. Take your spoon, take water, head back to the dining, sit down, and start eating. So when it comes to the point where computer opens the port and there is no Indomie, it's confused again. You can't continue. So you have to also make your logic to sound like if there is no Indomie in the pot, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can.
All right, all right. So if there is no Indomie in the pot, then go to the cupboard, take 2 packs of Indomie. You have to define the packs. How many? Because if you say take Indomie, it will take every Indomie there. If it's like 100 packs of Indomie, you will cook everything. So when you're giving instruction to computer, you give instruction sequence by sequence. And that is what programming language is. So while both of us are talking right now, I'm talking and you're hearing me, you are seeing me and I'm seeing you. I ask a question, you unmute your mic, you answer, and then you mute back your mic and all that. It's someone that developed that application using programming language. And basically what they did in programming language is they gave instructions to the computer and told the computer, when Chiadeka clicks on the video button, show his face. When he clicks on it again, hide his face. When the time he clicks on the mute button, let us hear his voice. When he clicks on it again, let us stop hearing his voice. So that is what programming language does. And Small Basic is the programming language that we are going to be focusing on. After that, you can go higher and higher into some other high-level programming language. For now, we're going to start with Small Basic. So we can understand the methodologies of programming, how programming behaves. When you can understand that, you can learn any programming language even on your own. When I was learning programming, I learned Small Basic. And after that, every other programming languages I know today, I learned on my own. And how programming language works, how computer thinks. Yeah, that's it. So now I'm going to share my screen and we are going to run through our curriculum for the day. So basically what we're going to do today is the introduction. I have already given us the instructions, so I won't go back to it again. And I'm glad that so far so good, we are cooperating. So remember, anytime you stop hearing me, you don't have to wait for me to ask you to unmute your mic. Unmute your mic and tell me you can't hear me, just so I will be sure that I'm communicating or not communicating. I would have loved to make this a full screen, but I would not make it full screen because if I make it full screen, it means that I'm no longer going to be seeing your faces. And that would mean that when I lose someone, I will not know. So I want to keep tabs on those who are online with us here while I'm also sharing my screen. So I'll just leave it this way. I hope you can see the screen clearly, can you?
Maybe to make it a little
Yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Is
Yes.
it possible to close that slide transition to the right so that it spreads a bit?
Okay, I can make it.
No, to the right. The slide transition to there's an X button there that helps you to close it, right?
Okay.
So it makes it more centralized, and perhaps we can increase the size using that plus button at the bottom right. So maybe I'll make it okay, a little bit back, minus.
Yeah.
Okay, great, excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so in this lesson, you will learn how to describe small basic, explore the small basic environment, write a small basic program, use IntelliSense technology, save your program. If I may ask, were we able to install the small basic application in our computers?
Yes.
Just answer randomly. Good. So is there anyone here who has not installed it yet? Okay, if I didn't get any yes, that means we all have it, and that's very nice. So you can open the application right now, and you can go on from that. So let's just read through a program. A program is a set of instructions that a computer can understand. Like I told us, programming is a way of talking to the computer in a way a computer can understand. So you have to talk to the computer in a language computer can understand. For example, I'm sure Tammy can understand English, but if I begin to talk to him in Hausa language, he's going to be looking at me confused because he can't understand it. So if you talk to computer in a language computer will not understand, the computer is going to be looking at you confused. Nothing would happen. But programming makes you to understand how to speak to computer in a language computer will understand. So to write that set of instructions, you use a programming language. So what is Small Basic? Simple. Small Basic is a programming language. That makes computer programming extremely approachable, easy, and fun. So I'm going to be sharing. So I want to leave this my Small Basic. So if you can see this Small Basic window, you can see I'm just pushing it around on my screen just so you can catch your eyes. So when you open your Small Basic application, this is something you're going to see. Some of your own might be bigger. Mine is bigger anyway, something like this. But I made mine to be small so that I can actually be looking at it as well as looking at the slide at the same time. So that is it. But you don't have to make your own to be small. So you can always look at my computer to see what I am typing. And if you can't see it clearly, please let me know. I could just make it a lot wider. That is it. So the next slide, I'm going to be talking about, let me just read through. In the beginning, only a few programming languages existed and they were easy to learn.
Can you please go back to the last slide?
Okay. I know some of us would want to write everything we see on the screen. That's not bad, that's good. But then paying attention to understand what I'm saying is more important, because at the end, some of all those things, all those definitions you see on the screen is not what is going to make you a programmer. It is the being able to write the codes. When we come to the part of writing the code, the proper instructions to the computer, that is where you become a programmer. So I know that in our schools, somebody wants to say something.
Yeah, in addition, they also have the Small Basic handouts. So if you look at the Small Basic handout, it already contains most of the things that you're going to see on the screen. So there is no need to really write. You can always, and the recording of this will be made available so you can watch it afterwards.
Yeah, so we have that. Since you have the handouts already, I think that solves a lot of problems. So you can even open your own handouts right now on your computer while I'm moving through it. You're also moving through it and following me. So just pay attention so that when we get to the part of the code, that is where you would need to actually get your hands on. For now, writing the things on the screen is not very important. So, yeah. So now I'm going to move to the next slide. So I'm just going to read through. In the beginning, only a few programming languages existed, and they were easy to write, easy to learn. However, these languages became more and more complex, such as the Microsoft Visual C# development tool, Microsoft Visual Basic development environment, and Java. This complexity discouraged people who want to learn how to program computers. Small Basic removes this complexity barrier and serves as a stepping stone for all beginners to the world of programming. So programming, there are various programming languages. They are more complex. They are very, very, very complex programming languages. That's why Small Basic was introduced. It's simple. One day soon, you are going to go into those complex programming languages. But before then, you have understood Small Basic. And by the time you've understood Small Basic, those complex languages are no longer going to be complex to you anymore, because now you understand how computer behaves. So I'm going to the next slide now. So on the Small Basic, you are going to have what you call your editor. So for every programming language, there is a development tool. So Small Basic is like a development tool for Small Basic languages.
So it appears we've lost Emeka. Emeka is back now. You need to unmute Emeka because we cannot hear you.
I'm back now, sorry. So like I told us, if I lose network for any reason, just stay put. I'll be back soon immediately. So that's it. I'm going to share my screen again, so continue. It appears I need to have the ability to share my screen.
I'm going to transfer the host back to you. There you go.
Okay. Right, we are back to where we were. So I told us about the editor, where you write your codes, and the place where you can see too is where you can perform some activities like open a new page, open a program that you were writing before, save your program, and most importantly, run your program. So if you are seeing my mouse, you can see my mouse hovering on a button that looks like a triangle or a rectangle pointing to the right. And under it is called run, in brackets F5. So when you are done writing your code, click on F5 to run your code. So as you're writing your code, you can see some information about IntelliSense or about some things you are doing on the right side, the place we call 3. So I don't really want to go so much deep in talking about this because this is something you'll be doing every day, and the more you keep doing it, the more you get familiar with it. So I'll be hitting the next slide. So the next slide is telling that you have created your first application. So I am going to actually create my first application right now, and we are going to do it together. If on my screen, you can see the Small Basic window. You see, I'm hovering it around my screen just so you will notice it. I'm going to drop it by the right bottom of my screen. Yeah. So I'm going to write text. I just wrote something called text. And when I wrote it, you see something drop under it. Can you see the thing that dropped under it? The kind of box that have some stuffs. You can see text window in it. If you can see it, just raise your hand. Click on the raise hand button, just so I would know. Good, yeah. Tami can see it. Olivia can see it. Gabriela can see it. Linda can see it. We cannot see it. Chidea can see it. So that's good. So that thing is called IntelliSense. Opera can see it too. It's called IntelliSense. It's just a mixture of words coming from intelligence and sense. So Small Basic also helps you when you are trying to write a particular line of code. It's dropping for you possibilities, guessing what you are trying to write, and it's dropping for you those possibilities. In case you've forgotten, you can just see it there and say, wow, yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Like in Google.
For example, go on, Tami, go on. Want to say something?
I said like in Google.
Good, yeah, like in Google. So these are ways to make it behave smartly. So basically, what I'm trying to type is text window, right? So once I wrote text, it brings out text for me, brings out text window for me. So you see, let's say, for example, I am not really sure again whether it was text window or it was text door. But once I see text window on the screen from this IntelliSense, I will now remember, yeah, it's text window. So it helps, it makes life easy for you. Makes it easy for you to actually, write your codes. So that thing you saw that dropped down is called IntelliSense. It's very useful, and Small Basic has it. So I want to write text window. It is also important for us to look carefully and see the pattern with which these codes go. We can see text, we can see window. Text starts from capital T, window starts from capital W, and then dot, right line. Right starts from capital W, and line starts from capital L. So most computer languages goes like this. This a camel case, I guess. Don't worry, as I will go on, we'll be understanding what a camel case is, understanding what a small case is, understanding what a Pascal case is, and all that. But just note that this is how it's written. And what does this line do, for example? So I am trying to ask my computer to write a line on the text window. I'm telling computer, hello, Small Basic, write a line on the text window, and inside that line, the message I want you to display there is hello world. So you see that computer has a way it constructs its language. And if you want to give instructions to computer, in other words, if you want to write your program, you have to construct your program in that language so computer can understand it. And if you understand it, it will run it. Doesn't understand it, it will not run it. Or it might throw error, a very scary error, the kind of error you don't like to see. Don't worry, get there. So after I've written this, I want to believe that you are also redoing that on your own computers. Are you doing that? Let me see your hands up. Good, good, good. I can see our hands, yeah. So I want to run it. So after you've written it, you click on F5 to run it. So I want someone to run it and tell us what they saw, what they noticed. Anyone?
Sir, can you please repeat?
Pardon?
Can you please repeat what you said?
Okay, I'm saying that this line that I have just written on my editor, the editor of Small Basic development environment. I'm sure you have it open on your own computer.
Yes, I have.
If you have written this line just like this, run it. You can see F5, or you can see this blue triangle that points to the right. Yeah. Under it, you can see run. Yeah, click on it. Let's know what you discovered. When you click on it, tell us what you discovered.
I discovered that it showed me a new console tab. And
that is black.
Yes, that's black, and then it showed the words "Hello World."
Good. That console tab, I'm sure if you know command line prompt, that command line prompt is what people used to write programming in those days, until developers began to find a way to make it easier and easier. Okay, so now what it means that you gave an instruction to your computer, asking the computer to display Hello World, and then the computer displayed for you Hello World. You see this right line? This right line is trying to tell you that, tell the computer to write it in a line. Now, let us come down. And write another right line in brackets. I am happy to be here. Run it. Someone should run it and tell me what they discovered. Anyone? Anyone? All right, I just want us to communicate to also be part of the class. That's why I'm asking. So if you have gotten it, Linda, I think you are trying to unmute your mic. Just tell us what you discovered. If you have.
Yes. I can't remove, I'm still in at number 1. I have not written, I'm happy to be here. I've not written number 2.
Okay, it's all right. So if you have written number 2, just tell us what you discovered when you run it.
I have written number 2.
Somebody wanted to say so. Okay, good. Then run it. Have you run it?
I've also run it. It said.
So what did you discover on your screen?
It said, "I am happy to be here." Under hello world.
Good. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to hear. So when you run it, the two lines of code, when you run it, you will get. Let me just run my run it, and you see my screen. You can see my screen. On my screen, you will see hello world. Then the next line, you will see, I am happy to be here. So let us interpret this carefully. On the code, we said text window dot write line. So we're telling computer that the first line, I want you to use the whole line in that text window. This is the text window the computer is talking about. You see, you can see me moving it around my screen. We are asking computer to take the whole line and put hello world inside of it, which means the next line would now have to contain, I am happy to be here. We are not asking the computer to add I am happy to be here beside hello world, because that is going to mean that I am happy to be here and hello world is going to be on the same line. I don't know if you can understand the differences here. Hello. All right. If you don't understand it, it's all right. As we go on, you understand it. Just know that if we want to display a message on the screen to the computer, we say hello world. We say text window dot write line, and then we put a sentence inside of it. And let us pay attention to the way the sentence is constructed. The sentence is constructed, we put it inside double quotes. So when a computer sees a word inside double quote, he knows that you are trying to write a sentence. But if it is not inside double quote, computers assume that you are trying to write a number. Computer calls it integer. So which means if I am to write something like 3 here, I am going to write it like this. Don't worry. Maybe it looks like I'm running too fast. I don't know. Are we actually following?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Let me give you a secret about learning programming. Programming requires practice. Working on it every day. Eventually, the things you are going to learn in programming on your own is going to be like 80% compared to the things you were taught. When I was learning programming, I was always on my computer trying to understand it, trying to practice on it, trying to play around with it. Many years ago until today, even right now, I'm still always learning something new. Before we started this meeting, since morning, I've been doing something, trying to discover how it works and why it works the way it works. And I discovered it and I was happy before this. So you never stop learning, you never stop researching. If you want to be good, you always keep on learning. Any day you stop learning, the ones you know already will start leaving you. All right, so that is just it. We have learned how to display a text on our computer, on our text on our windows. We have learned how to talk to computer. We've learned how to tell computer to display a word for us, hello world. We've also learned how to tell computer to write, I am happy to be here. So you can actually write a text window or write line inside a bracket. You can pass in anything at all. So far as a text, make sure it's going to be in a double quote. That is the only way a computer can interpret that this is a text, that this young man or this young lady is trying to display a text on the computer. So that is it. So this place is, I'm on the next slide now. This next slide is trying to tell us about IntelliSense, which I've already explained to us. When you are trying to write something, it drops down this for you. You can toggle through it. Okay, so we'll get to that. Maybe I should just immediately recap what I have said earlier, so you can catch up fast. You can also help those who have been on the call for at the past 1 hour to also, reiterate what has been said. So we started. I'm talking now. Please pay attention. So we started talking about programming language, and we asked the group if they have heard of any language before. Of course, they have heard of French. They have heard of English, which we are using right now. We've heard of Yoruba. We've heard of Efik language. We've heard of many languages in the world. And all these languages are used in communication. We use languages to tell people things, and then they respond to the thing that we told them. And that is what programming language does. Programming language is a language you use in talking to the computer, because computer has a language you understand. So if you want to talk to computer, you have to speak to the computer in a language computer understands. And we say that computer is a sort of machine that understands things in sequence. We made an example, and I asked them, if I ask you to eat Indomie, what will you do? Linda said that she would go and take Indomie and eat. I say, yes, that's right, because she's a human being. Note that no matter, computer is very intelligent, but computer is not as intelligent as a human being, because it's human being that made the computer. Computer is just faster. So if you ask computer to eat Indomie, computer is going to be looking at you confused, because computer can look around. But as a human being, when you are asked to go and eat Indomie, you will stand up. You go to the kitchen. You check the pots. If there's no Indomie in the pot, you go to the cupboard and get some Indomie. You put inside the pot, cut onions and other things, and you start cooking it. At the end, you've made yourself an Indomie, and then you are eating. But computer cannot do that. It cannot work on its own. You have to give it a specific instruction, sequence by sequence. Just the way you saw us write this hello world, we are giving the instructions in sequence. So if you are to tell computer to go and eat Indomie, how you are going to tell the computer is, you ask the computer to go to the kitchen, go to the pot, open the pot. Then if there is Indomie in the pot, then get a plate. Take Indomie from the pot, put in the plate. Get your spoon. Get a cup. Get water. Pour the water in the cup. Take the plate and the cup full of water to the dining. Now sit down and start it. You see, I have described this thing line by line. It may not even be perfect, but I'm just trying to give you an example of how computer follows instructions. So we now came to the point or the part of small basic language, which happens to be a programming language. So just like we said, that there are many languages in the world that can be used for communication, just like we have French, we have Latin, we have Dutch language. All of them are used for communication. So Small Basic is also a language computer uses to communicate. So we now brought out the terminal, the development environment, and we showed us this page, and we said, before I go on, please, if you're actually following right now, so just raise your hand. Let's know. We are going back because of you. What about ESO?
I can't raise my hand.
Okay, but you are following, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, I can see your hand, Linda. Okay, yeah. So we try to make us understand that on this Small Basic window, we have the text editor is the place where you write the codes. And then we have the number 2 point, the interface, where you can save your codes or open a new page or run your code. Then number 3 gives you information on the things you are doing. That's it. So we now came to the point of writing a language, a code. We wrote text window dot write line in bracket. We entered hello world. So this is us trying to give computer instructions in sequence. So look at this sequence: text window dot write line, hello world. We are asking computer to write a line on the text window. And what are you going to write in that line? You're going to write hello world. It's as simple as that. So when you look at computers, you try to interpret what they are saying, or what you are seeing on the screen, in a human language, in a human sense. That would help you to understand what the computer is trying to do. So that's it. So we have written hello world, and I wrote it also. The first line was text window dot write line hello world. The second line was text window dot write line I am happy to be here. And I try to run the application. And when I run it, please, are you seeing the black screen, the output when I run it? Anyone can?
Yes.
Okay, just for me to be sure that you are seeing it. Good. So on the screen, you can see that on the first line, you are seeing hello world. On the second line, you are saying I am happy to be here. Ignore the third line. So computer, what it means that the computer understood the language, understood the instruction that we gave, because of what we put that language in a format, in a structure, in a sequence, the computer will understand, and they obeyed. Computer is very obedient. If computer is not obeying you, it means that you are not talking to computer in a way computer will understand. Just like, I want to tell you something now, Linda, and I want you to respond if you can respond. If you can't respond, just keep looking at me. I'm not sure if I can say it well, but Mene Sunanki. See her face? She's confused. So basically, I said Mene Sunanki. I just spoke a language she doesn't understand. But I spoke a language. I just asked her, okay, let me ask you something. What's your name?
Rona.
What did you say?
My name is Rona.
Good. So I asked her, what's your name in English language? And she answered. But I asked her, what's your name in Hausa language? And she's looking at me. Why? Because I spoke in a language she doesn't understand. So if you speak to computer in a language computer doesn't understand, the computer is just going to be there. It will do nothing. It will be confused looking at you. But once you speak to a language you understand, and it will do what you said. So now we have written this piece of code in a language computer understands. So therefore, it ran. Let's say, for example, I told us that if you are putting something in this bracket, just the way it's structured. Now, let me tell you something. This thing can be a little bit buggy in your head right now that you are starting it. It's normal. Every time you are learning something new, it's disturbing in your head. I myself, I passed through that. I'm not a genius. I only keep on practicing every day and every day and every day. So just take it cool. When I was learning programming, after my lectures, I'll go home and I'll practice. And I'll keep on practicing, I keep on practicing, I keep on practicing until it becomes part of me. So I told us that when you write text window.writeLine in brackets hello world, you then write it inside the double quote. It means you are trying to tell a computer to display a text. So this is a text, and it's inside the double quote. And that is how computer understands it. If I try to remove the double quotes, you see, and I try to run it, maybe you can also do it on your computer. Let's see what happens, because I'm trying to run it, nothing is happening. Computer is confused. What is this man doing? I'm not understanding what you are trying to say. Just like the way Linda was looking at me when I said minutes to 9K. Like, what is he saying? I don't know what you're talking about. So you see, but if you put it in a format the computer understands, like this, 1 second I run it, it opens. You see? So that is it. Every little thing must be. If anything goes out of place, error for you, or it will tell you, I don't understand. That's it. So now that we've written this code, you know, it's nice for us to have a place where we, you know, store our programs. Every code you are writing, you need to be storing it somewhere. Yes. When you begin to go into some advanced programming, you can't even run your code except it's already saved. So Small Basic allows you to run your code even without saving it, but it's good to always save it. So if you're looking at my window, if you're looking at my, if I see my screen, just do what I do. I'm going to start up a page, a folder on my desktop. I want you to also follow me and create a folder on your desktop. We are going to save our applications there. So if you can see my desktop, are you seeing my desktop? Hello.
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'll right click and go to new. I'll click on folder. Opens a new folder for me. So I'll write it Small Basic. Be careful, don't give space. Don't write small space basic. Don't write it that way. Write it Small Basic. Put it all together. As time go on, your programming life, I do hope you are going to continue with programming. As time go on, you understand that when you are saving programs in a file, you don't give space in that file. You don't name the file giving a space. Make sure it all jammed together, because computer does not understand those spaces. At least it doesn't. So whenever you are naming a computer or naming a file, like you are going to be writing code to it. If you give it a name, don't give it a space. If you want to give space, you use underscore. Don't even use dash. So if I want to give space to this folder, I can write small underscore basic. See how it looks like. So that is the only way you can do it. Small underscore basic or small basic put together. It's just to be on the safe side. Yeah, so I've created a folder and I'm going to be storing all my applications here while we are doing this tutorial. All my applications, I'm going to be storing it here. So I'm going back now to my application, small basic. You can see it on my screen. And then I'll click on Save As. The first time I'm saving it, I want to use Save As so I can actually tell it where to save it as. Just follow what I'm doing. Make sure at any point you get lost, please call my attention. Raise your hand so that I can see you and attend to your question. And if you raise your hand or if you send a message after some time I have not called you, possibly I didn't notice, you can just unmute your mic and speak. So I'll just come back and attend to your request. Thank you. So I'll click on Save As. You see, this window comes up. It's asking me where I want to save. So remember that I've already created a folder called Small Basic on my desktop. So I go to my desktop, look at Small Basic, I click it. So I want to save it inside Small Basic. I click on Save. Okay, you want me to call it a name. I can call it Intro. So I'm calling the name of that file Intro, and then I save. If you open this Small Basic folder, you can see Intro is there now, intro.sp. So now anything I'm going to write on this terminal, on this text editor, once I finish writing, I will just click on Save so that it will keep on saving it up there. If I want to open a new one, I open a new one and I keep on saving. Did we understand or did we follow? If you follow, say yes. Say yes. If you didn't follow, say
Yes.
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 no. Wow, that's very good. That's very good. I can see we are all computer wizards already. That's impressive. So that is it. So we just learned how to save our program. So the next, we're just going to have a little interactive class because we're about to end the class. It doesn't matter. You can look at your slide if you have this document I'm using to present. If you have it, you can look at it. So I'm going to ask someone should tell us what Small Basic is. Can someone tell us what Small Basic is? Somebody want to say something? You've forgotten already?
A programming language that makes computer programming extremely approachable, easy, and fun.
All right, that's good. You just read it all out. Okay, sorry, I didn't notice that you're raising your hand, Ebiseme. All right, so I'm going to drop us an assignment. Drop an assignment we are going to do. Our next class today is Saturday, so we have tomorrow. We have this night to do it, and then possibly tomorrow you go to church in the morning, or then you submit it later. But make sure you submit it by tomorrow. Because
Are we going to use our saved work on Monday?
Pardon?
Are we going to use our saved work on Monday?
Yeah. So you're going to do an assignment. You are going to open a new, okay, if you open your Small Basic application, you click on new. You can see the new tab here, right?
Yeah. Sorry, Emeka. Do they know how to save what they've done? Do they know how to save it?
Yes, I'll just show them.
Excellent. So
just show them how to save it now.
Somebody was asking, so they have to save it and keep it for future reference.
Yeah, we've walked through that right now. That's why I want them to have an assignment where an assignment has to be saved, of course. So that is also going to ensure that they will practice what they've learned, both in writing of the code and in saving of the document. So if you want to write your assignment or you want to start a new program, when you open your Small Basic application, or right now that your application is still open, click on new. You click on it, open a new tab. Let me drag it a little. See, if I drag it, you can see the old one under it. Just the way it happens in Microsoft Word. If you can use Microsoft Word, you can have different documents open at the same time. So the same thing happens with Small Basic. So when you open it, you can write your assignment inside of it, and then you save. Remember, you click on Save As. You now select the particular location in your computer you want it to stay. Remember, we created a document, we created a folder on our desktop environment. So on the desktop, we created a Small Basic folder. We went to that place and we saved our work. So you can save all your works there. You can write it assignment. After you write assignments, you then click on save to make sure that you don't lose it. Because if you tell me you've written the assignment, but you lost it because you didn't save it, it's as good as you didn't write the assignment. You see? And the assignment is very good for you. It's very good for you. So using the things we have learned on how to display a text on the computer, I want you to write a program. I've emphasized on this a lot, so I want us to now use our own discretion. Write a program telling the computer to make Indomie, or write a program on how to make Indomie. Do you understand that? Okay. So who else did not hear me? Or is anybody hearing me at all?
I can hear you, sir.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Okay. What I'm trying to say is, I want you to use what we've learned today, the text window dot write line in brackets, of course, your message, what we've learned. Use that method to write a program on how to make Indomie. So
Excuse me, sir. Is it the steps on how to make Indomie or just one more how to make Indomie?
yes, the steps on how to make Indomie. Yeah, you got it. The steps on how to make Indomie. Thank you for putting it better.
So if you don't know how to make Indomie, you can ask mommy or daddy, or ask your elder brother or elder sister, how do you make Indomie? Then you have to now itemize those steps.
Yes, and write a program for it. So you see, that's what the programmer does. They tell you something they do in the reality, you put it in a software. So,
or Uncle Emeka, do you have an example on how to make a sandwich? Maybe as an example, a quick example.
It happens that I am much more better at eating sandwich than making it.
Yeah. So make the ugly one, or whichever one. Just a short, something very quick.
Okay. For example, I think I have been emphasizing on that for quite some time. So I wanted them to use their initiative now by themselves. Okay, let's say, for example, I want to make a sandwich and I would ask the computer to go to the fridge, take the bread, go to the cupboard, get the sardine, get the butter, open the butter, or get a spoon, open the butter, scoop a little from the butter, paste it on the bread, open the sardine, take your fish, mesh your fish, spread it on the bread, start eating. Just giving you an example of how computer instruction goes. It has to go in sequence. So if I just tell the computer, go to the fridge, get sandwich, take butter, computer will be looking at me, where do I take the butter from? You have to tell the computer where to get the butter from. Yes, so at least this little example I'm giving you can actually tell you, okay, yeah, this is the steps that I'm expecting. So according to your own discretion, according to the way you make Indomie, just write a program step by step on how to make Indomie. Yeah, so you can see I'm going to put an email address here. So if you can see Village Square, I think I didn't spell it correctly. So you can copy it. I think I should just put it on the charts so that you will submit your assignment to this email address. Make sure you submit it latest by tomorrow. I'm putting it on the chat right now so that you can copy it. Is anyone saying something?
So I think I can also post that on the chat.
On the WhatsApp, okay, yeah.
On the chat here, on the chat here, so they all see it.
Okay, please do. It appears that when I'm sharing my screen, I'm incapable of doing a lot more things.
Okay, so I also wanted to add, Emeka, that I've also been able to successfully create the Google Classroom, and a lot. I noticed that a lot of the students did not. The forms did not contain your emails. That's at least not a lot though, but at least for 5 of you or so thereabouts, the forms did not appear to contain your email. So I'll be reaching out to your parents or guardians to help get your email. For those that their emails were submitted, an invitation link has been sent to your email for the Google Classroom. So please click on that link and then go into the Google Classroom. You're going to find this assignment there, and you are to upload your answer on the Google Classroom. You have to upload your answer on the Google Classroom. It's only if you are having a challenge that you send your answer, the answer to your assignment to the villagesquareonline@gmail.com. Okay. But I don't think you will have any challenge. If you have any challenge, you can reach out to Uncle Emeka, or you can reach out to myself, or ask your parents to reach out to either of us, and we'll try to sort it out. But we want all your work to be uploaded to the Google Classroom. If anybody is having any challenge with it, just let us know. Check your email. You'll find a link inviting you to the Google Classroom. Please click the link.
Gabriela says that she doesn't have Google Classroom ID.
So when you click the link, it will prompt you to just register your ID. So once you register your ID, you are in. Yeah, I can see all of that. Please just, all you need is a Google account. Let me see. Yes, truly, we do not have an email for Rona. We do not have an email for Oprah and Gabriela. We do have an email for Gabriela. Gabriela has Gmail, but Oprah has yahoo.com. So Oprah, you can create your Google account with the yahoo.com. If you're having any issue with that, please just get your parents to talk to us on WhatsApp, and then we'll connect with you individually to sort it out. I see Richard has joined. Richard has joined the class already. So I'm expecting the rest of you to also join. So upload your assignments to the classroom. Yes, continue, Emeka.
I just wanted to ask if it's clear enough for everyone. Please, if it's clear enough, just raise your hand so we will know. I think they are, some of them are lost because nobody is actually raising their hand. Okay, they're raising her hand. Gabriela. Okay. All right. So that is it for now. We're going to catch up same time on Monday. See you then. And when you are uploading your assignment, please, what you are uploading is, okay, just look at the computer. After you have saved your assignment, for example, we saved our assignment on Small Basic folder. If you open it, you will see that particular project you saved, intro.sb. When you make your assignment, it is that assignment you are going to take. Let's say, for example, this is the assignment. It is this particular folder you are going to take and upload on the Google Classroom. Yeah, we've come to the end of the class. It was nice having you all, and I actually enjoyed the cooperation. I hope we keep it up this way as we go.
Well, before you close the class, does anybody have any question? There is a hand up.
Okay, Gabriela, go on. Why are you crying?
It was an accident. I forgot to lower my hand.
Okay, okay.
Or does anybody have any questions so far? Any area you need clarification? Okay, so if I'm to pick at random to ask somebody, what have you learned today? Let me see. Ebiseme. Who's Ebiseme? So Ebiseme, can you tell me what you have learned today?
I've learned how to make a folder and a program also. And also save it on my desktop.
Okay, excellent. Does anybody else want to tell me what they've learned today?
I've learned about computer language.
So what did you learn about computer language?
I learned that in order to make a computer carry out an action, you have to be straightforward about your instruction.
Very good, very good. So that means the assignment you have been given, you have to be straightforward about the instructions that you're going to give in that assignment so that it is clear. Because if you give the computer an ambiguous instruction, the computer will be lost and would prompt up error. Okay, I think that's good enough. Anybody have Ebiseme? You have your hand up. Any last word before?
I learned that a computer is given a sequence of instructions in order for it to obey.
A sequence of instructions which it has to obey. So the computer is as good as the person who is giving the instruction. If the person who is giving the instruction is not good, the computer cannot accomplish anything.
I also learned that a program is a set of instructions that a computer can understand.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
I also learned how to use the text window right line.
The text, okay, the text window right line. So
And
what's the difference between the right and the right line?
No, we didn't go into that. And we didn't go into that. Yeah, we didn't go into that.
Okay, somebody else wanted to say something.
I said a small basic is a programming language that makes a computer program extremely approachable, easy, and fun.
Precisely. Makes it
I learned
fun.
that You have to be very detailed about your instructions. If not, the computer will not be able to understand you.
Precisely.
Good.
So if you are not detailed enough, the computer can get lost. Brilliant. I like that. Ifoma, did you pick anything at all from the class? I know you joined late, but were you able to pick anything? Ifoma, is Ifoma with us? Can't hear Ifoma. Okay, so I think what we've learned so far is fantastic. So do we have any challenge with
Someone raising their hand.
Do we have any challenge? Yeah, go ahead, Lume. Hello. Lume, if you're speaking, you're on mute. Can you unmute your microphone and speak?
Okay. Hi, good afternoon. We had so much.
Oh, lost Lume.
Trouble trying to get into the and
Okay, but were you able to pick anything? Were you able to learn anything when you eventually got in?
Well, almost nothing, but hopefully
Almost
now
nothing.
teach us.
Okay, that's fantastic, and I like that. I like that, Rona. So your first assignment is to teach Lume, and you also have the video of this class to go over so that you'll be able to learn on your own. But Rona, is on you. Teach Lume. Okay, so Emeka, over to you.
Hello, Peter. Hello, Peter.
Yes.
I am sure this class is recorded, right?
Yes, it is.
It is.
Okay, so possibly those who had issues with their network will do well to play that recorded version to catch up, and wherever they are not clear, they could make up for it.
Precisely. So we post the video so your parents can show you so that you take a look at it. Hopefully we'll edit it to it won't run for this long, but we'll edit it so that it's the content is reduced. Okay, Emeka, over to you.
All right, I think that is all we have for today. We're going to catch up again. Don't forget to submit your assignments latest tomorrow. We'll catch up by 4 p.m. on Monday. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Bye.
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 Wait. It's already there.
It's over now, Abby.
Please, make up. I want to